Hi everybody, John back again, and this is a special short little video that I'm making now as not just a vinyl community video but also a Happy Mother's Day video. Happy Mother's Day, Mum. Hope you're keeping well. As you'll all know, we're all pretty much advised to stay home. Our Prime Minister Boris Johnson told us fairly sternly yesterday not to go visiting our mothers today. And well, I guess it makes sense, I suppose, under the circumstances. So well, during a sort of self-isolation period, we can sort of communicate over the airwaves like this, or over the cyberspace, I suppose you'd say. I'm going to show a few little records now, ones I've spoken about before and drawn reference to. Last time I think I was over visiting my mum and dad, I actually took a bag of 7-inch singles that my mum has owned for pretty much most of my childhood. Yeah, in fact, yeah, all of my life, I would say. My mother has, before I was born, I believe, she ran together with a lady that lived across the road, a youth club for I guess children and teenagers in the mid to late 60s, I think, and probably a little bit into the 70s as well. I was born in 1970 and I've got no memory of any of this. I just hear the sort of the anecdotes and the stories and things from my brothers and sisters, and of course my mum and anybody else that was around at the time. Anyway, this youth club that met every week, they used to buy a 7-inch single every week, and sort of, yeah, that would sort of belong to the club. There's quite a few, but I pulled out a stack here of ones that I have with me now. They're all dusty and, you know, very old and scratched and things like that, but I thought I'd go through and show some of them, maybe even play a few little musical snippets from them. The reason why I'm showing these is because when I was sort of old enough to really begin to appreciate listening to music, these were what I had to hand, so I was quite fortunate. I mean, yeah, if you think about it, records and 7-inch singles, you know, people collect them now like they're sort of antiques, and they'll be very, very careful of them. In the days when these were sort of kicking about in my bedroom, you know, there was no sort of danger for them to be destroyed, because they weren't really considered being antiques at that stage. So I was fortunate to have these and you know, use them and listen to them as I wanted to, and it formed really the basis of my interest and you know, enjoyment of music. Now and again through my lifetime, and I'm about to turn 50 in August, I've sort of turned occasionally to these records and put them on, and it's always really nice, because some of these songs and even some of the crackles that are in the records that have been there for, you know, decades now, they take me right back to those very, very early days of sitting around a record player in my bedroom and sort of playing them. And it's interesting because, you know, when you're that young, sort of, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, you don't really have an understanding of the big wide world around you, and a lot of the things that the records were sort of talking about, you know, I didn't really know what it was all about, most of it. I just quite enjoyed playing them. So I'll show a few of these and sort of give you an idea of some of the songs that were popular. Don't want to draw it out too much, because I guess it probably means more to me and maybe my mother and my family than it did than it will do anybody watching this. But I hope you might, if you're not my mother, anybody else in the vinyl community watching this, I hope you might find this interesting. And yeah, enjoy this month. So the first one on the top of this list is, on this top of this pile, is a song called Eye Level by the Simon Park Orchestra. If memory serves me right, I believe this was a song piece of music that was played as the theme song to a program that went on the TV in the daytime in the 70s. I think it was called Vandervalk. Something to do with Dutch detective or something. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, listening to this takes me right back, I can tell you. There's quite a few Elvis Presley ones here. This is one of the ones that I particularly enjoyed as a kid. It's Elvis Presley, I Got Stung, and on the other side it's One Night. In fact, you can even see on the label here, I hope it picks up, somebody's written club on the label there. Quite a few of these have got that written on. You know, obviously they were ones that were, I don't know, bought by the club and sort of, yeah, somebody wanted to keep them there. Here I've got a Beatles record, Hello Goodbye. And on the other side is I Am the Walrus. Yeah, interestingly, a lot of my sort of exposure to the Beatles were obviously through these singles, and it's funny to think that some of these songs were ones that I kind of were familiar with already by the time I was, you know, 6 or 7 years old, which is nice to think. Elvis Presley, Fools Such As I. And a real good rock and roll track on the other side is I Need Your Love Tonight. And also, yeah, I mean, thinking about A sides and B sides, I didn't really know which was the A side or which was the B side. To be honest with you, I still don't really know now. Although some of the songs like this one, obviously, I've learned to understand that this was the single that they released. This is Mid of the Road, and the song on here is Chirpy Chirpy Cheep Cheep, which is sort of, you know, I think they're a Scottish band, aren't they? Yeah, that's obviously the A side, because I don't know the B side that well, Rainin' and Painin', although if I played it now I think I'd probably recognise it. Paul Simon, Take Me to the Mardi Gras, and Kodachrome on the B side. 10cc, Donna, and on the other side is Hot Sun Rock. Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves by Cher, old classic. And on the B side is He'll Never Know. The Sweet, I've got I've got Coco, excellent track. And yeah, this was interesting, Nilsson. So yeah, Without You, that's sort of like a real sort of tearjerker of a song, isn't it? Without You by Nilsson. I don't know, is that the Nilsson Schmilsson guy, or is that just a different band? I really have no idea. I should look into that. Oh, it actually says, yeah, on the label it says from the Nilsson Schmilsson album. And here's me wondering why people go on about this Nilsson Schmilsson guy all the time. Who on earth is that? And all along I've been familiar with, at the very least, one of his tracks, which is incredible, really good, which makes me think next time I see a Nilsson Schmilsson record out there, I'll grab it, because up until now it doesn't really look like anything that I'm interested in. I can't forget tomorrow when I think of all my sorrow.
only fair that I should let you know what you should know. I can't live if living is what
Anyway, there's lots more. Tom Jones. So here I got Swinging Blue Jeans, Hippie Hippie Shake.
I got the hippie hippie shakes. Yeah, I got the shakes. I got the hippie hippie shakes. Oh, I can't sit still with the hippie hippie shakes.
Elvis Presley. What's this one? Suspicion. Oh yeah. So here's a Neil Young song, After the Gold Rush, but it's performed by Prelude. I'm not sure, but I think Prelude were kind of like were they like an a cappella kind of hippie group from the early 70s? I seem to remember, but it's interesting that they're doing a Neil Young song.
Blowing to the sun that was floating on the breeze. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1917. I was lying in a burned out basement with the full moon in my eyes. I was hoping for a replacement when the sun burst through the skies. There was
In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry, and on the B-side is a track called She Rode. And what else we got? Are You Lonesome Tonight, Elvis Presley. And we got Chuck Berry, Let's Boogie. And My Ding-a-Ling. Here's a little anecdote for you on this. There's a little spot, well, a couple of little spots of red paint there. I don't know if you can see that. And I know exactly where that comes from. When I was perhaps a little bit older, I don't know why, you know, I kind of was planning this trap or trick of where you put something on the door and you call somebody to come in through the door. When they come through, whatever it is that's up on the top of the door falls down, like a bucket of water or something. I think I had a pot of paint and this paint would have gone everywhere, even over some of these records. Yeah, foolishness of children, I suppose. Anyway, and that paint is still there from that day. Fleetwood Mac, Albatross. What a brilliant single that is. And B-side, Jigsaw Puzzle. Elvis Presley, All Shook Up. And on the other side you've got Heartbreak Hotel. What else have we got? Oh, here we go, Sweet Caroline on Neil Diamond. This one's got a stamp on the other side. Yeah, see, it's got club written on the label there. You see that, and the date 28th of July, 1971. This is a huge, big favourite of mine of the day. Mouldy Old Dough, Lieutenant Pigeon. The Hollies, Air That I Breathe. Really big track that is, and I've heard people say that it's the source of that song by Radiohead, Creep, that they really sort of borrowed a lot from this particular song.
Breeze came upon me and will breeze me weak. So sleep, silent angel, go to sleep. Sometimes all I need is the air.
Patchy, Shadow, those. And what else have we got? Tom Tom Turnaround, New World. Great track.
Tom Tom turn around, don't ever let me down, don't ever leave my life. Tom Tom turn around, don't ever let me down, take me for your wife. Please take me.
And Hey Jude by the Beatles. It's got Revolution on the other side. And what have we got here? Who Pays the Ferryman? Yanis Makropoulos. Don't know much about that. I know the melody, but don't know more than that. Tiger Feet by Mud. Yeah, probably the or one of the favourites is by Saint Celia. Leap Up and Down with Your Knickers in the Air. Hilarious song, even as a child. You know, it seemed quite fruity and rude because it's quite innocent, really, isn't it? But at the time, it felt like, you know, the rudest thing that you could possibly have on a record. And what we've got here, Bobby's Girl, Susan Morgan, with Come a Little Closer on the side 2. Anyway, Bend Me, Shape Me by Eamon Corner. There you go. Excellent track.
You're the only woman I need, and baby you know it. You can make this beggar a king, a clown or a poet. 'Cause I got nothing to hide, just a piece of
More Elvis Presley and Beatles and all the sort of different fun ones in here. I haven't done it yet, but I'll weave in a few little, you know, sound snippets of these here, and hope you find that at least find a little bit of interest. Yeah, many of these records, they have seen better days. Like this one, it's got quite a serious buckle here. So although they don't really have any, I wouldn't say they have any kind of monetary value as such. For me personally, they've got a huge, you know, sentimental value, and I think my brothers and sisters would probably say the same, because they obviously grew up listening to these songs too. So I would just like to say Happy Mother's Day, Mum. Hope all is well. Be sure to keep at home, keep safe, and well, we'll keep in contact, and I'll see you once all this self-isolation business is over. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye, Mum. Happy Mother's Day. Bye.